Greetings, everyone. Hope all of you are having an absolutely fantastic day. I could be doing a little bit better. My day could be a little bit better, and I think we're going to have a serious conversation, y'all, because, we've been at this for 4 years, right? Us together, we've had this relationship for 4 years, and I feel like we're damn near family, and family should be able to say things to each other that, sometimes the party doesn't want to hear, and I just got to hold y'all accountable. Y'all dropped the ball on this one, and I don't appreciate this. Don't let this happen again. Why hasn't anybody reached out to me and said, hey, Samori, I just noticed that there's this sci-fi indie team-based isometric cRPG about to come out, and you haven't done any content for it. Man, let me throw this in your ear. Maybe you should do it. Instead of my community informing me about this, I had to receive a nasty letter from the developer saying, hey, let me go ahead and throw this key your way because I see you ain't on your job. You aren't alerting people about indie cRPGs that are coming out. And my game isn't getting the love that it should be. I don't like stuff like this. I don't appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta throw this out there. When y'all see games like this, I need you to let your boy know. So I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Y'all got my Twitter. Y'all got my Discord. Y'all got my Blue Sky. All them links down in the description. So reach out. Let your boy know, hey, this is probably something you should be working on. Because this game, I can't wait until the full release comes out. So what's the story of Sector Unknown? Well, you play as a person who's completely unknown and you wake up on a prison ship. Now, when you first get up, you encounter a prisoner who has decided that the best way for him to get through life is for you to chop off pieces of yourself and for him to eat those pieces. I'll leave it to you to figure out how best to deal with that. But once you figured out your way through the situation, you're going to quickly be encountered by guards who are on this prison ship. And this is an area where Sector Unknown truly shines. There are a ton of different ways for you to get through encounters, whether it be dialogue or using your perception to see things that you otherwise wouldn't be able to see, or using computers to hack into different things. There's a lot of different ways for you to approach these situations. So for example, you're going to come to a door where there are 3 guards on the other side. And now you could just open the door and try to talk to them and convince them to leave. Or if you have a high enough perception, you'll see a vent that's right next to them. Now, with that alone, there's nothing you can do with that information. However, if you have a high enough biology score and you happen to have a jar of insects, you can throw those insects into the vent and they will descend upon the guards and force them to leave. There's also a different jar you can use that'll do the same thing for the science skill. If you don't have any of that, then there's also a nearby terminal where you can activate an evacuation alarm that will cause all of them to leave as well. So just really cool stuff like that you'll see throughout the game, where all of your skills in some shape, form, or fashion are used in order for you to progress through the game. Now, once you're able to get past the guards to the end of the ship, you're going to encounter an AI. And this AI is going to let you know that they are going to crash the ship purposefully, and that they want you to download a copy of the AI and get off the ship before that happens. Once this is finished, it'll let you know that that prison ship was actually owned by an evil corporate empire. And sooner or later, they are going to come investigate this crash. And when they do, they're going to want to retrieve all of their property, which includes both you and the AI. And the AI is hoping that the two of you can band together and figure out how to stop them. Now, it didn't randomly choose the planet where you crashed. It actually has a massive derelict space station that has everything you need to fight back against the Star Frontier Corporation if you're able to find the resources, including the people who will help you be able to do exactly that. That's the basic premise that Sector Unknown presents you with, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. From there, you could go around not only the planet where you land, but also several other planets nearby and recruit people, gather resources, and build this station in anticipation of that final conflict. The writing has been phenomenal, not only for the story, but also the dialogue interactions you have have with other characters. I really like the system of being able to walk around and find different agents who can either join your team directly or serve to help expand the capabilities of your station. The space station management is phenomenal. There are so many different options, and it's going to be so much fun getting to the point where everything is fully fleshed out. In the description for this game that the developer provided me, one of the games he mentioned was Pathfinder Kingmaker, and I found that so odd. I was like, who mentions Kingmaker and not Wrath of the Righteous? But now I see, because one of the things I really loved about Kingmaker was that it truly made you feel like you were a lord responsible for an entire area, and that you were surrounded by people who were cutthroat backstabbers that might at any point in time try to take all of what you have. And Sector Unknown gives you that same feel of you have something important, something crucial, and you're building that out. And at the same time, you have a lot of neighbors who could potentially become allies, but who are also ambitious in their own right, and they could just as easily try to take what you have and turn against you. Really, really cool stuff. I cannot wait to see the reaction from a lot of other people when they play this game. Now, there's a demo releasing on May 25th on Steam, so I'll definitely leave a link down below for the Steam page. And on top of that, it's going to be releasing into early access in June. Dev said that it's probably going to be in early access for about 3, maybe 4 months before full release. There are some things that he wants to flesh out in the game, such as the itemization. He's looking at potentially adding some localization so that more people will be able to understand what's in the game. And an area that he feels like is okay, but I actually do not enjoy in this game that he wants to focus on is combat. Personally, I did not find combat to be enjoyable. Again, this game provides a ton of different ways for you to get around combat, so it didn't impact my enjoyment of the overall experience very much. But those times when I did get involved in combat, I didn't feel like it provided me an opportunity to be really tactical the way that I prefer. And especially having chosen a character who doesn't focus on combat, I didn't feel like the game gave me any realistic opportunity to figure out a way to overcome the deficiencies in that area. It was basically a situation of avoid combat or you're going to get absolutely shredded, which personally I didn't find appealing. Again, it'll be very interesting to see what some of you feel like once you're able to get the game in your hands. Definitely reach out, let me know, and let me know if there's any other content regarding this game that you want me to work on. Anyway, that's the video. I think it looks great, looks very, very exciting. Isometric cRPG Mass Effect, bro, I'm all over it. I'm all about it. Of course, my next month or so looks like it's going to be very, very busy, but at some point, I'll definitely play the early access version of this. And when the full game comes out, we'll be covering it on the channel. As always, I'm looking forward to your feedback, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.